What's up, y'all? It's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today we're going to be looking at a new wizard build. Now, this is the same build I used to do the Torment 1 and 2, like, rift clears without casting any spells, but it's a little bit better and a lot more efficient. Now, this is the build that I was using, and what it's really going to be focused on, or kind of centered around, is using the Arcane Orb orbit thing, and also having the Ice Armor, and I also have a lot of pieces of gear that either cause AoE damage or amplify my AoE damage. Now, basically, I wouldn't really say this is a very gear-dependent spec, and I also use Archon, by the way. I'll explain that right now. I use Archon to deal with very difficult packs and also bosses. This is not a build that you're going to use in high torments. This is a build that I use to clear normal mode bounties and also like T1. I can do T1 at about the same rate I can do normal mode. And so I usually just do, if I'm going to do T1, I just do this spec here. I want to go over some of the items that really help me kind of achieve what I'm trying to get at here later on. And I'm just going to go by them one by one. And also some items that I don't have and items that would help if you have them. So you guys can make this build a little bit different than I do and also still be successful. Now, basically, this is, as I said before, this is not something that you want to do with high torments. I'd say above torment 2, this is not really going to be efficient. It's just kind of something like, I like this because it takes literally zero effort. Zero effort. You literally run around in circles and things die. Look at them. They're dying. I'm not doing anything. It's dead. They're dead. I'm doing nothing. I'm doing nothing and everything is dying. This is amazing. I love it. I try to achieve the most while putting in the least effort possible, and I think with this build I'm achieving my goals here. Now, as you can see, I have two sets of orbs orbiting me. Now, the first one is the Arcane Orb with the glyph, and the second one is Moonlight Ward. Now, that's very, very important for this build, but you can also do without it if you have other pieces of gear that are also very useful, like maybe Pox Faults. Like if I had Pox Faults, I would be very happy, but I do not. And so I can't show you guys that, but I will go over, as I said, a lot of the gear at the end. And as you can see, this is normal mode, but I'm just absolutely, completely just tearing through this, not even a big deal. Oh wait, no, is this Torment? Yeah, this is Torment, excuse me. And so you guys can see how I clear Torment 1, and this is Halls of Agony. I chose this place because it's very high density. The more density that there is, the better. For elite packs, I just go like this. I go like this and they die. They're dead. Wow, look at that. They're dead. So hard. The difficult game. Now, I mean, by the way, this is not like... The game is kind of hard. I was doing some riffs on T6 a while ago, and it's hard. Okay, it's very hard. But T1, not so much. As you can see, I pretty much one-shot everything that's not a elite, and because of the amount of abilities that I have that kind of amplify the spec, I don't really spec towards this. Well, I have, or geared towards this, excuse me. I have obviously spec towards this, but it's kind of been inadvertently. And so this is actually almost like probably one of the best specs that you're going to see that's similar to this, just because of all the stuff that I have. It's like even huge packs, they're not really a problem at all. As I said before, it's actually the more mobs that you have, the better. Now, as I said, I'm going to do Butcher here, and obviously I'm going to use Archon and just pretty much kill them as fast as I can. Now, there's zero reason not to use Archon on bosses. I also use them on Rift bosses and a couple other things like that, and he is dead, not a big deal. And if he's not dead by the time Archon's over, you're probably doing a Torment level that's a little bit too high for this spec, honestly. So, actually, when I think about it, it's actually a really good way to determine if you're able to do this or not. And it also looks really cool, because I have all these orbs orbiting me and, all that other stuff too. Now, I'm going to start going over all the different little pieces of gear that I have that amplify this spec. Now, the Moonlight Ward, I talked about this earlier. Basically, whenever I hit an enemy that's close to me, which is all the time, I have a chance to have these things orbit me, the little arcane things. And so those explode and do a lot of damage. They also increase my arcane damage, which is my main ability, or my main thing. My Talrasha is set. Now, again, this is very important, but a lot of people don't have this. You don't necessarily need this. The 4-piece is what matters, and obviously it calls down meteors and it does a lot of damage. This really carries me. It helps me a lot. I would say if you want to do anything more than Torment 1, you probably need that. I don't have these. I want these. I've spent about 2,000 blood shards and I still don't fucking have these. These basically make it to where you get a 50% movement speed increase for 3 to 4 seconds after you destroy something. Because I have the Frost Armor, Frost Armor glyph, that would be pretty much all the time. But hopefully you guys have that. Thunder Guard's Vigor. It's garbage. Don't fucking use it. I was trying it, and I honestly think that you'd be better off kind of gearing towards stamina in that slot because you're not really using a lot of electric damage anyway or lightning damage anyway. And so I just don't really think that using that item is very efficient at all, and the lightning damage is very low. Poxvault, as I said, if I could pick any item out of this list that I don't have, it would probably be Poxvault's. It is extremely good. I really, really wish I had it. I have a buddy in my clan who has 2 of them. Fucking bullshit, man. And then Frostburn Gauntlets. This is more of control. I'm not really going to say that you need these or that you really even want these. If you're doing a very high torment level and you're dying, obviously if everything's frozen, it's not doing damage to you. So these are again something that you could use if you had to. Firewalkers, I do have these. These help me a lot. For one, they proc Talrashas, the fire elemental, and also they do a lot of damage to mobs that are chasing me after I left them behind. And so these are definitely something that you would want to have. Ashira's Custodian, now this is mostly the Ashira set. Now the 4 set summons the followers, and the followers do damage to mobs that are around me. Now the Ashira's set, the Ashira's items, I mean they're just the same as any other item, honestly. And the shoulders, there's one other pair of shoulders, but I think the Ashira's set is probably the most efficient way to go because the followers are spawned all the time. The second set of shoulders you could have is a Deathwatch Mantle, but in my opinion I don't really take a whole lot of damage. But I used to be using this, and it did a whole lot of damage. And so basically, if you're kind of, I don't know, getting hit a whole lot for whatever reason, you might want to use this if you don't have Ashira's. But I would suggest using Ashira's. Now, the Mad Monarch Scepter is the Poison Nova that I explode. After I kill 10 enemies, I explode with a Poison Nova. Pretty simple there. It just happened right there. It does a whole lot of damage, over 1,000% weapon damage. It can roll up to 1,400%. But basically, that really helps me out a lot. I was doing this run without it. It's not necessarily, like as I said, necessary, but it does help out a lot, just kind of in the speed of things. 10 enemies it happens all the time, especially whenever you're running through things as fast as I am. You want to run back and forth on mobs, in front of mobs, because that triggers the firewalkers to hit them, because if you're doing that, you will be close enough for the molten effect for firewalkers to affect them. As you can see here, like there's never really a time where I think there was like one when I was recording one of the videos I actually did die. I don't know if it's in this video or not, but I died because I stood in like 5 molten things. So maybe you guys will see that, maybe not. I don't really remember honestly. I have my Enchantress, and I gave her a weapon called Maximus. That really helps me out a lot, but it's not necessarily like something that you need. It's just something that helps me. If you can have any weapon on your Enchantress, I think Maximus is probably the best choice because it summons a demon, and the demon is like connected to the Enchantress, and then there's a fire chain between the two, and the fire chain does like 500,000 damage like every quarter of a second, something like that. And so, I mean, obviously, it's just completely raping stuff. Now, there were a couple other items, I actually forgot to mention this, I'll do that now, that I didn't include. The Band of Hollow Whispers is apparently kind of decent. It haunts nearby enemies. Something that's not decent is the Bulkathos Wedding Band. Now, I was doing some research on this before I did this video because I don't want to, give you guys some bullshit information. It sucks. It sucks. Basically, it regenerates 1% of your total health, regardless of how many enemies are around, and it siphons an amount of health that's relative to the total monster's health. So I guess if you're fighting something with, like, I don't know, billions of health, it might be useful. But honestly, it's really not, because you could use Stone of Jordan, which does 30% more damage. And so, anyway, as I said, the items I listed before are pretty much the main ones that you want to focus on having or getting. I would say in terms of what's most important is Moonlight Ward, either Poxfalds, or probably Moonlight Ward and Poxfalds alone. Like, you can probably do it with just those, and the rest of the things are just kind of going to be adding more and more damage. Other than that, like, there's not really much to this. As I said, what's really great about this build is that it takes literally 0 effort. Like, you literally run around in circles and you kill everything. And this is Torment 1. And so, honestly, like, I've really been looking for a build that I can just absolutely play with one hand and just not even pay attention. Yo, this is where I die, by the way. It's embarrassing. Anyway, it can happen. Don't stand in molten. It'll kill you. Anyway, this build, I really like this build because I don't have to do anything. I just run in circles and things die, and as I said, here comes the Rift Guardian, and obviously what I'm going to do is pop Archon and just kill him. I have the Archon to where it explodes because I think that's the most efficient way of doing it, and he's dead in just a few seconds. So that's actually pretty much it for the guide. So if you have any questions, let me know. But thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe.